Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another Championship predictions video. I'm joined by Michael. How are you doing after that win yesterday?
Oh, good. I thought it was a weird game of football. The weather definitely did take a factor after. I thought the wind bit blew. They were poor. I hate to say it, Barnsley, but you are going down as one of the worst Championship teams ever.
There's some big games over the weekend. We'll talk about them as we go through these predictions. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And we start, funnily enough, with Coventry City away at Bristol City. Now, we played these away. It was the first game of last season, our first game back in the Championship. We played them a few times since then, and I think Bristol City are actually quite a fragile team. They can be a bit naive, but they did get a big win. They seem to pull out a good result every now and then. They just beat Middlesbrough, and Coventry weren't convincing against Barnsley, so going to sit on the fence, 1-1.
See, I'm going to go with my gut feeling. There's also a weakness about us at the back.
There is.
And that's why I'm going to back Bristol City. I never usually go against City.
Oh, wow.
Do I? Do I really ever go against us? And I just feel like we're just so close to being a good team. So close to being a top 6 team. But away from home, we don't have that steel like that. Control of games. And they've got good players, man. They've got a striker that's in banging form. Like, he's in good form. They've got some good players. They've got experienced players in the middle.
So what's the score?
I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol City.
2-1 Bristol City.
I feel like we'll go 1-0 up.
Possibly.
And then we'll do what we do and try and sit back and,
throw it all away. Yeah, a big game down the bottom end next. Hull City versus Barnsley. Bit of a Yorkshire derby, this one. Hull City have been grinding out some good results lately, and now they go up against Barnsley, who just cannot seem to get a break at the moment. They got that win against QPR, and then, like we say, they were just a bit unfortunate to lose so late on against us. I think I'm going to back Hull. I'm going to go for another 1-0 against Barnsley.
I'm going to go 2-0 Hull. I think Hull have made the right decision bringing a new manager in. At the right time, they've had a little bit of a bounce, got some important wins, and I think they'll stay up. I think they'll beat them. I think Barnsley are done, man, unless they make a change quickly. I think they're going through the motions by the looks like of it.
Time is running out for Barnsley.
So I'm going to go 2-0 Hull. I'm confident in Hull at the moment. They're quite not a bad little team.
It's an interesting matchup. Next one is actually quite interesting as well. It's Middlesbrough versus West Brom. West Brom, it's not good, is it? They lost again to Luton, and Steve Bruce just hasn't had his effect. Yeah, it's just nothing's working, not even a new manager bounce or anything. They're going away to Middlesbrough, who did lose at the weekend, but I'd imagine Middlesbrough will go back to winning ways here. I'm sorry, West Brom fans, but there's nothing for me to get behind. 1-0 Middlesbrough.
I'm going to go 2-1 Middlesbrough.
Okay.
I think West Brom are going to finish like 15th, 16th at this rate. They're dropping through the table like no ends, and this team's in better form than them. And they got the wrong manager, and I said it to you when they signed him. He's a dinosaur manager. He ain't going to make them play good football. And West Brom are not very good. They don't concede many goals though, baggies. I think they've got
still got a good defence.
I think they've got the best defensive record in the division, them and Fulham.
Up there, yeah.
Yeah, so you think that defensively is not the problem, it's going the other way.
Next up we go to Deepdale, Preston North End versus Nottingham Forest. Forest had their game called off on the Friday night against Bournemouth, and Preston lost at home to Reading. Really weird result when I started to think Preston are a team that could sneak into the top 6, but maybe not. Results like that just show that maybe they're not ready. I don't know. They've been going okay, but maybe just top 12 this season for Preston. As for Forest, they need to try and go back to winning ways because everyone else has played, over the weekend, and Forest have slipped a little bit. So I will just back Forest 1-0.
I'm going to go Forest 2-1.
Okay.
I think Preston are the most boring football club going.
Wow, okay.
They're just so happy just to be in the Championship and just sustain and just not really got any aspirations to go up. Like, they're happy with 10th or 12th every season. It's just really, do you think it's just really, boring?
It is a little bit
they're not
stale.
It gets towards this end of the season, they've got enough points to stay up, but they haven't got enough players to go
challenge. Yeah.
And it just feels like they're just happy just to maintain, just going through the motions, and I feel like that's why Forest will beat them. And I think it'll be 2-1.
Next up we go to Swansea City versus AFC Bournemouth. Now Swansea, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. We've said before they can play some nice possession-based football. They beat Bristol City 3-1. You're thinking, okay, I'll back them against Sheffield United, and then they lose 4-0. I'm sick and tired of Swansea ruining my predictions. I'm going to back Bournemouth here. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Cherries.
I'm going to go 0-0. Don't know why. Got no answer for it. Swansea keep the ball and they need a point because that was embarrassing yesterday. That was absolutely hammered. It wasn't even close. It could have been about 9. That's not even an exaggeration. The stats are embarrassing. So yeah, it is what it is.
0-0. Okay, last game on the Tuesday between Reading and Birmingham City. Both teams have picked up 4 points in the last 2, so both progressing a little bit. Birmingham City They do that, don't they? They go on little splurges where they pick up points and then they go on a bad run. As for Reading, they need it to be a good run and they need it to continue because they are really, really in the mess. And Derby County are now the team just below them because Derby have now pipped Peterborough in the table. It's a big win though for Reading against Preston. I'll give them a draw here, 1-1.
I'm going to go 1-0 Reading. Don't know why, just don't like Blues. So I'm just going to go Reading just because I love to see Blues get beat by them and it's just funny, isn't it? Because Reading did them early on in the season, didn't they?
Did they?
I'm sure they were 1-0 up, Blues were, and then they came back, Reading did, and beat them 2-1 because I'm sure me and Soph went to play basketball when we came back and it was 1-0 and then when we got home it was 2-1.
Wow.
Blues have got a softness to them. At the back they've got no defenders, like they're playing like left back at right back, they're playing centre back at left back, they've got no defenders, they've got 7 injuries at the back, so it's a bit like the Adams family at the back really, so they're in a bit of a pickle really. So I'm gonna go 1-0 Reading.
1-0 Reading, big game that, and then we move on to Wednesday, another big game down the bottom. Derby County take on Millwall. Millwall didn't play, they were meant to play Blackburn. Derby, what a win. What a win against Peterborough. They left it late, but they got it. And they haven't lost at home since November. I'll back them again, 1-0.
I'm going to go 1-0 as well. Honestly, I think the game of the weekend against Peterborough has relegated Peterborough.
It could have done.
I know it sounds stupid, there's still like 10 or 15 games left for some teams, but just the mental side. Peterborough's expected goals, was 0.03. That's what their expected goals was against Derby. That is absolutely embarrassing. That means the goalkeeper had a chance. Like, they had more chance of scoring from a goal kick than they did out of field play. Like, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Like, but no, I think Derby will win 1-0. I think they're just doing really good, Derby, and I just feel like if they weren't had their points taken off them, they'd be looking at playoffs. They really would. They would be looking at they're looking up the table instead of down the table. See, they're not a bad team, but I think they'll win 1-0, and I think it's going to get naughty down the bottom soon. It's going to get real tight, like tighter than it is now, but it's going to be close, very close. 1-0.
Okay,
1-0.
Another team down there is Peterborough, and they're away at Fulham. This is not going to be easy for Peterborough. The worst away side going away to Fulham. If you're going to try and take any positives, Peterborough fans, Fulham did lose at the weekend, but I am backing Fulham to go back to winning ways here. Fulham 4-0.
I'm going to say, if I was a Peterborough fan, I'd be hoping under 7 goals. I even feel like the Fulham goalkeeper could get in on the act at this rate because Peterborough, we've scored 7 goals against them this season.
Over 2 games, yeah.
Yeah, so you think if we've scored 7 goals against them, right? I'm sorry, but Mitrovic is going to have an absolute field day about that. I'm going to go, this is going to sound, it's at Fulham, yeah? I'm going to go 8-0. I think they could do it. They've done it before, obviously. How many times have they scored 8 twice?
8-0.
They've scored 8 twice this season.
they've done a couple of 7s. I think they've done a few 6s.
Do you mean? And they're playing against these donkeys, and they've got Darren Ferguson in charge.
Wow.
Who is just living off his dad's name. He's not a football manager, and I won't be told otherwise. And Peterborough fans, you can say whatever you want. You'll all agree with me.
Wow. I think that's the first time I've seen an 8-0 on a predictions video.
I'm going to go hard, mate. Honestly, Fulham will be angry. Look what happened last time when we beat them. They won like 50 games in a row, man. They scored like 200 goals in 20.
The Dragon's been woken up.
Yeah, they're angry, man, honestly. And so we've got Marco Silva, right? He doesn't back another loss again with Fulham. I think Peterborough in for a rough old Wednesday evening. I wouldn't be going to Craven Cottage on a Wednesday night past Peterborough fans.
No.
Just pay the tenner on iFollow, just watch it on that.
That was a big game. Next up, Huddersfield Town versus Cardiff. Huddersfield just keep winning, don't they? They've got a really good unbeaten run at the moment, and maybe I should have backed them to get something at Fulham. I said it'd be close, but you know what? They proved us all wrong. They went there and won. They're up against Cardiff now, who have been improving, but I think you've got to back Huddersfield. It might be tight. 1-0 Huddersfield.
I'm going to go 3-1 Huddersfield. Kind of a crap. I don't say it lightly, right? They were awful against us, and we were the worst I've seen us play away from home this season, right? And we dominated the ball. They just scored an absolute wonder goal on his right foot and then just a defensive mistake. But they've had a bounce, haven't they, Cardiff? They have had a bounce. But Huddersfield, they're our target. I've always said that. We've got 2 games in hand on them, we're 6 points behind them, and they're 5th. Yeah, so you think to yourself, that's our target. We win our 2 games in hand and we carry on winning. We're still in it, technically. But yeah, they're in really good form, Huddersfield. Like, really going on, not under the radar. They're just kind of like bobbing along nicely. Everyone knows they're there, but they expect them to fall off. But they just keep proving people wrong every single week that they're there to start. I think they could go up, you know. I really think they could be a surprise package this season.
Just imagine.
I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1 Huddersfield.
Yeah, I just think there's a weakness. There's a weakness to Cardiff. We got in behind them a couple of times, and
just couldn't score.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Really.
Next up, QPR versus Blackpool. QPR have fallen off a little bit recently, only managing to pick up draws now. I think they did score in the last minute against Hull, but it was disallowed. So only the 1-1 draw. And Blackpool, meanwhile, they've been going about their business okay. They're picking up points still. I think Blackpool might be a bit of a nuisance to QPR here, and I might go for another draw, 1-1.
I think a 2-0 QPR.
2-0.
They've got to turn it around, haven't they? Eventually, they're a good team. They've lost a couple, recently, but they're still fourth.
They're still good.
It shows how much anyone else doesn't want to get into the playoffs at the moment. That's what it feels like.
Everyone's tripping over each other.
It's like someone's getting punched, and the person behind that's just been punched is falling over the one that punched him. And it just feels like they're just like, I just don't understand it. No one seems to want to be able to take control of them. Forest looked like they were storming towards the playoffs. There's only one team that's taken control of the whole situation. And it's Sheffield United. They've won like 9 of their last 12 games. They're flying, honestly flying.
Well, we'll come on to them now because it's Sheffield United versus Blackburn. So it's one team we thought a few weeks ago might be in the playoffs at the end of the season. Now it's the team we all think is going to be in the playoffs at the end of the season right now. Sheffield United are the form team. Blackburn, their game was called off against Millwall, wasn't it? I think Sheffield United win this 2-0.
I'm going to go 3.
Yeah.
Tony Mowbray syndrome is in full effect. They've only won like 1 game since Christmas.
They're falling a bit, aren't they, Blackburn?
Tony Mowbray syndrome. I don't know what it is, man. He must have done something in a real past life, yeah. But it proves, doesn't it, that Ben Berrington Diaz is injured, yeah?
Yeah.
And their form falls off. He wanted to leave in January. It was pretty clear that he wanted to go, but they couldn't really, no one wanted to pay the money for him. But he's out of contract in the summer, and he's going to be free. So why would you not want to sell him?
It's a big game, that one, though.
I think Sheffield United will roll them, man. They've just got some classy ballers, man. Morgan Gibbs-White, he's the best player in the division, hands down. There's no better player.
Billy Sharp.
Billy Sharp scoring goals again. They've got Sander Burge in midfield. He's quality.
Flatt, yeah,
they've got some really, really good players, man. And they made the right decision sacking the manager and bringing him in. Everyone was laughing when they brought him in, but I think he's won like 9 of his last 12 games. You look at Sheffield United's form, chaps. Honestly, it's fantastic. It's frighteningly good at the moment. Rolled Swansea 4-0. Could have been about 8. And they're really hitting form at the right time. And it's happened before though. Teams start just before Christmas, start racking up some wins, and you can start moving. They were like 16th just before Christmas, and now they're in the playoffs. Shows, doesn't it? A couple of wins and back to back in the Championship can really do wonders for you.
Absolutely. The last game we'll come on to is Stoke City versus Luton Town. 2 teams that have got chances of making the playoffs. Luton Town looking pretty good. Another good win against West Bromwich Albion. Stoke picked up a draw against Birmingham at the weekend, but Stoke are at home here, so I might have to finish my predictions with sitting on the fence again. I'll go for a thriller. 3-3.
3-3?
I've got to chuck some goals in.
I'm going to go 1-1. Stoke are a bit more aggressive, pumpy football, and Luton just try and run you off the pitch, don't they, really? So, yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. Just
1-1.
Sit on the fence, because I can't really pick a winner.
There you go. That wraps up our Championship predictions, guys. Make sure you've dropped a like, subscribed, and got your comments and predictions down below. We'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.